Welcome to the new DV. We're refining our approach to show you a different way of appreciating and achieving a sweet life. Bringing fresh voices to join our signature hosts. We're also refreshing our segments, covering the topics of innovative technology, finance future, history of food, and true value. We'll dive into deeper conversations and pursue relevant stories. And to top it off, we'll have a special celebration segment to keep up with the festivities throughout the year. We're excited to bring you along our new direction. So without further ado, this is DV. Hong Kong has long been revered as Asia's financial hub, and as we move toward the future, there is no doubt even more opportunities for investors to explore today. This episode takes us around the city to spotlight some interesting places and intriguing ventures. We have antique collectors with plenty of stories to share, taking the unusual step of coalescing the old with the new in an effort to stay relevant in today's technology-driven market. And we're headed to the backyard of Hong Kong to check out a residence that we think you'd be interested in knowing more about. Des starts us off at an experiential wine shop in Tsuen Wan. So sit back, relax, and grab yourself a glass as we take a closer look at wine as an investment.
When I say investments, what do you think of? Gold, diamonds, the stock market? Well, these days, there seems to be a million things you can invest in. Regardless of your choice of asset class, what's really important are knowledge and a sound strategy. And talking with people is a great way to acquire both of those things. And that's why I'm here today.
We have roughly around 100 selections. I'm sure you have this experience before, that you go to the wine shop, you feel intimidated, like with mountains and walls of wine.
Totally, all the time.
So that's why we want to have a small selection, but at the same time, we want to provide very quality selection to our customers. And what you see right here, that we will pick 20 selections from that 100 selections as by the glass program. So we're going to do it on a regular basis, maybe bi-monthly or quarterly, depending on the feedback from our customers.
I can't help but notice that the wine isn't very expensive. I mean, it's a few $100, very affordable. Is that part of your strategy?
That's correct. Because maybe you know that wine is a very hot commodity for the past 10, 20 years, especially region from Bordeaux or Burgundy. Our sommelier team will be sourcing around the world with wine from France, from Italy, from New World, with some up-and-coming boutique winery that the price right now is not expensive yet, but with a potential that maybe in the future, the price for that bottle will go up in the future. These are what we call the grower champagne. So it's a very small production from small champagne house, which we only order batch by batch. So what you see here, when it's gone, probably I have to wait another couple months until we have to stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would recommend this. So this is very boutique, very interesting bottle.
Now, I noticed most champagne or sparkling wine, they have a metal thing kind of holding the cork.
Yes.
This one is made of rope. Is that real?
It is real.
Wow.
Yes.
Cool. I've never seen that before. Now tell us about this concept, because I see we're sitting at the bar area, but this is also a wine shop.
I want a customer engagement. Either you go to the wine shop first and then come here for a drink, or you have a drink here, knowing what you want to taste before you buy, and to go to the wine shop to get your wine. This is a new concept, but we want to create a wine community within this Tsuen Wan area, which I see a lot of potential. And I think it takes time, that's for sure. But I'm confident that maybe in 6-9 months' time, we can create a community here. And maybe on the second phase that we earn the trust in the future that they ask us to source different wine for them.
From an investing perspective, red, whites, champagnes, how do those differ? And how should I make the investment choice?
I think for wine investment, in general speaking, you have more selection for red wine, put it this way. The nature of winemaking for red wine tends to have longer aging potential because they use the skin, the tannic. That's the natural ingredient for the wine to age. So I think red wine has longer aging potential. If you're into a serious champagne, I think some of the selection is not meant to drink right away. It's about you have to wait probably 10, 20 years until the bottle is ready to be opened. So I think the grower champagne that I mentioned earlier, for some of the selection that we have that potential. There's always a risk. I think our job is to try as many wines as we can. Source as many wines as we can. Hopefully that we can get quite a lot of potential wineries that maybe in probably 5-10 years the price will go up. But there's always hit and miss. That we can try the wine at least, at the very least.
Exactly.
I always feel it's nice to have the earning of the money, but at the same time, where's the pleasure?
Right.
You don't get to open the bottle and enjoy the wine now. I like that part, but I like the enjoying of the wine part as well. Cheers.
Ronald mentioned that buying wine and investing in wine can be pretty intimidating for a lot of people, and I don't mind admitting that I wish I knew a lot more about wine. And that's why it's really nice to be able to sit down in this casual environment and have a chat with a really good friend and learn from him. And there's something else I agree with Ronald on. Wine's not something that's to be hoarded and put under your bed for 30 years. It's also something to be enjoyed.
Cheers, Des. Off to Kwintong, Ivy is in the heart of Kowloon's CBD to give us a different perspective on investing.
How can you kickstart your investments? Well, it's important in order to secure your finance future. Or maybe you just want to add to your assets. Well, for the average Joe, I'm sure it's slightly complicated, but in fact, people from all walks of life are beginning to explore new ways of investing. Well, we've got something quite distinctive for you to consider, but remember to seek professional advice if you are keen to invest. Now let's take a look at what's next.
As an antique collector, our next guest has a passion for stories, and we're all ears.
So, Andy, why would you say someone would collect antiques?
I think it starts from your hobby from the beginning. Just like when you were a kid, you are collecting stamps, matches, coins.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, in the present time, in the modern day, people will think of it's a kind of investment. It's full of joy, the progress.
Yes.
It's a combination not only because of the dollar sign, but it's a progress of like you create your own story, follow the path from the ancient people. For the younger people market, they think the only value that come from the antique itself is the time.
Yeah.
The difference between 100 years old pieces or 1,000 years old pieces. But for us, it's not. It's all about the entire development of the history in different dynasties.
What goes through your head when you make the decision to purchase an antique? Is there a formula?
Yeah. First, we call your curiosity.
Curiosity.
Exactly.
Okay.
You need encouragement. When you make the decision in finding the piece or you try to grab it, it's only like 1 to 100 seconds time. Don't hesitate. At last, the establishment of taste is also very important. Go to the museum, auction houses, galleries. Don't hesitate or don't be shy to ask questions. Conversation is always important.
What's so special about this chair?
Well, of course, it's made by one of the most valuable material in ancient China. It's called Wanghuali wood. Yeah, of course, it's still valuable on the market now. And the top specialties of it is the design. The measurement, the proportion is perfect for a human body.
Yeah, it just feels amazing when I sat on it.
So this is what we call a table screen.
A table screen.
Yeah. So this is a typical like a Chinese painting, landscape. When I first found it, there's one thing I didn't realize until I grabbed it back to my workshop and tried to do the finishing. When I took the back off, I found this
Oh my goodness!
on the back of the screen. the owners of this screen in the purpose of protecting this screen, not to be destroyed. So he wrote some propaganda sentences. And one additional story is, in the later day, they worried that who's owned this screen. So the owner wiped off his name.
Oh.
So you can see this last part has been faded out. So nobody realizes it's owned by this person or family.
Okay.
So how amazing that we can like a witness of the history, or especially that part of history of China.
Someone once loved this so much.
Exactly.
Sorry, I got teary.
Yeah.
Because I, as a collector,
It's called passion, emotion. It's explained that the joy of collection. During the progress in collecting, we pay to learn. But at last, if you finally complete the progress, especially if you can find the right pieces, you won't regret at all until the last second of your life.
We're back. Let's see what Ivy is doing in Sheungwan.
Who knew there was so much to learn about antiques and its restoration processes? And now with new technologies on the horizon, we can look forward to new investment options. What's the connection between NFTs, blockchain, and art? Well, in my opinion, they go hand in hand because we're dealing with intellectual property. And what better way to protect it than to develop an NFT for it? Let's go find out more from an expert.
From antiques to NFTs, that's an interesting combination of old and new. But how does that work?
So Warren, in the simplest way possible, in a line, how can you explain NFT?
Well, that's a big question. But simply put, NFT stands for non-fungible token, which just means a token or certificate that represents something and you cannot exchange.
For example, I can't funge this cup because for all I know, it could be an antique, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right?
But a more common example people use would be dollar bills. Let's say if some famous artist drew something on it,
okay,
and that artist being famous, that dollar bill itself is no longer just a dollar bill. It's unique, and there's certain artistic value to that. So that is one way to view non-fungible. It is no longer a commodity. It's no longer same with everything else. I think NFT is important nowadays in the art world because it finally gives artists or creator a way to trade art that is digital. People are comfortable buying this, knowing that at any point in time, they could look it up and see, oh, what I bought now actually originated from the creator. Right. I'm buying the real thing.
And that traceability, I reckon that's also really important in antique trading, right?
Yes.
Because you need to be able to verify antiques.
So the use of blockchain technology, we tried to do that with our first NFT launch based on antique. Antique requires the authentication, requires the traceability that you talked about. And then blockchain or NFT technology provides that. And that's why we kind of merged them together. Can you guess how old this is?
Well, could it possibly be about 1,000 years old? I mean, it's pretty well worn and so much rust on it.
Right, that's a good guess. So 1,000 years ago, that would be around Song Dynasty. But actually, this is 2,000 years ago.
Whoa, that's before Christ.
Yes, that is around that time.
It's actually really like ornamented here. You know, there's a lot of patterns and...
Usually this type of tool are very utilitarian.
Okay.
So not much decoration. But since it had it, it means that someone of importance must have been the owner of this. This whole set came from most likely from temples. And then these were ceremonial use, which means that people only take them out when there are celebrations or ceremony.
all of these have NFTs minted for them?
They will have. Right now,
Okay.
only these two.
Only these two. Okay. So what's different about these two?
Yeah, so now that these two have been minted,
Mm-hmm.
you should consider yourself very lucky to be able to see them because we reserve these for NFT holders. Only they have the special right to come see them, handle
Okay.
them, and to learn about them. So not just from me, if they want, they can schedule experts to ask about the Warring States period, to ask about Qing Dynasty, metal alloy, and whatnot. And it's through understanding these, we hope that they can be interested in this. Right now, we're the only people in the world that launched antique NFTs.
Oh, is that right?
So it's an experiment because if you look at the marketplace, a lot of NFTs are purely virtual, purely digital. And to have something tied to a physical artwork, antique specifically, we're the world's first one. You know, we see movies, we see video games, epics based on, you know, historical novels, whatnot. People fail to realize that, oh, these antiques were the exact thing that existed back then. And yet very little young people realize that. And I just want to use NFT as an opportunity to introduce them to the wonderful things about ancient arts.
Who would have thought there was so much history and story behind every piece of artwork, antique, and even NFT? It could be attractive for youngsters and helps us think outside the box when it comes to our investment opportunities.
Headed to the seaside district of Saikong, where the lush environment creates a rare sense of exclusivity. Des is back to take us into a very specific residence to show us some of the benefits of living here and share a perspective on property investments.
As we step into a new year, a lot of my friends tell me they want to invest in themselves. Makes sense given the 2 years we've had. Now, one good way of investing in yourself is to invest in the place where you live. And in Hong Kong, we all know that real estate investment is a pretty sound choice. Today, I'll be showing you a beautiful property right in the heart of Saikong. Let's go.
This well-certified residence is built for the conscious dweller, with a refined taste in luxurious living.
Investing in yourself also means investing in your relationships. And when I opened that front door, the first thing I could think of was having all my friends and family over. I really like how the place is roomy and you can see right through into the garden from the front door. What's in here? Kitchen. I love kitchens. Wow. Look at this place. This is what a modern kitchen should look like. You have all your appliances here. You've got your induction, you've got your traditional gas. And I love these. This is an indoor charcoal grill, so when you do the steaks, it feels like it's right from the barbecue. Now, coming out of the kitchen, of course, you come into the heart of the house here. It's the space for entertaining. It's a flexible space that combines the living room with the dining room. The design looks like a modern restaurant. You don't usually get to see this kind of design inside a residential place. And then, of course, you move into the living room area and there's a nature motif here, right? You got nature on the carpet, you got nature on the walls, and of course there are different shapes and textures in this flexible space. You'd think, how would these things work together? But somehow, everything meshes together really nicely. Open up these massive sliding doors and we get into the outdoor garden, and the garden becomes an extension of the interior space. You got the greenery, the birds are chirping, the leaves are rustling. Can't beat living like this. All right, we've checked out the ground floor. Let's move upstairs. All right, you come up the stairs and you're into this big open space. Oh, it's a den. I love dens because dens are so versatile. You know, you can have a smaller, more intimate get-together with friends here, or you can just use the space for your personal relaxation. And I see there's a partition on the other side. Let's see what's behind it. So it's your own little library / working space. What a nice place to get some work done. And of course, there's a full ensuite. This isn't a closet, this is a luxury retail shop. and an entirely separate space for those who have lots of shoes. Pretty cool. We're gonna move again to the back side of the house and we come into this master bedroom. Look at this space. You've got a nice big front area for sitting and relaxing. You have a desk for doing some work, putting on makeup. Let's see what's back here. Wow, one of those hotel-style bathrooms. And what really caught my attention is this marble. You have two tones, you have the dark marble for the floors and the double sinks, no more fighting in the mornings. You've got the lighter marble in the back and you have this layered marble, which they've also used to encase a bathtub. Really cool. But guys, what really caught my attention coming into this room is this amazing view. I mean, look at this. Let's say you had a long day at work, you come back home, come into the bedroom, just pure relaxation. And if you're a believer in feng shui and the prosperity brought by different elements, look, you have your ocean, you have your layers of mountain, just clear view all through. And of course, we have the same view upstairs on the rooftop, except you're outdoors. Let's go check it out. These days, there's so much you can invest in. Now, of course, you have to do your homework and talk to the right people to get sound advice. At the end of the day, while financial gains are nice, it's not everything, because all of these investments are really about investing in yourself and your future.